Hello and welcome to Galatta Plus. In this video review episode, we're going to be talking about Kiran Das's Unmadham. The film is a solid thriller, a supernatural whodunit that keeps crossing the lines between the real and the surreal. There is a police file that's supposed to be cursed by the girl whose murder is detailed in that particular file. Any attempt to open this file can cause unnatural deaths and the spilling of blood. Kunchacko Boban is in fine form as a cop who wants to become a screenwriter. He wants to use the contents of this file for his story, but strange things start happening once he opens the cursed file and he begins to fall apart. Lijomol is very good as his long-suffering wife. The way the dead girl's case is explained is a big disappointment, but that apart, Unmadam is an interesting, intriguing work. That's the basic storyline, and the quick review, a longer analysis follows, and it may contain spoilers.
Let's go holidays. Travel beyond boundaries.
மாதந்தோறும் first Sunday அன்று கிரியாஸில் நாம் வாங்கும் அனைத்து பொருட்களுக்கும் exciting offers and gifts.
VQRA Wellness, Advanced Scientific Slimming. No pain, no surgery. Any weight loss, innum smarter.
Shahi Kabir is a former policeman who writes screenplays, and his new film has Kunchacko Boban as a policeman who writes screenplays. It's a nice meta touch. The character is named Shelly, and he is the troubled protagonist of Unmadham, which sees longtime editor Kiran Das making his debut as a director. We first see Shelly at a shooting spot. His story is dismissed by the director he's pitching it to. Shelly looks tired, and back home his wife Soumya, played by Lijomol, is also tired. She is tired of Shelly taking long leaves from his police work in order to make it in cinema, leaving her alone to take care of their two kids and do the cooking and the cleaning, and also go to work at a factory that makes light bulbs. In a lovely touch, the children appear more attached to Shelly. It's easy to see why he's always chilled out, while the mother is always shouting at Shelly or at them, the children, or at their neighbors at the police quarters that they live in. Unmadam is a supernatural whodunit, but running alongside the primary plot is a beautifully depicted relationship between husband and wife. Soumya is understandably exasperated that she does not have a normal husband. Being married to someone who is chasing a dream can be draining. But Soumya also initiates lovemaking with Shelly after an argument at night. The way she says it conveys many years of matter-of-fact marital shorthand. There's no coyness, there is no winking. She makes sure that the children are sleeping and tells Shelly, "We are up anyway, so let's just go to the next room." In another point, Soumya rolls her eyes when Shelly makes a big drama, big production about sharing the housework, but when he hands her a check, she doesn't instantly embrace him or do something to close the scene on a happy note. She says that she's not going to encash the check right away. She's happy that Shelly seems to be making his way towards his dream, but she also knows him enough to be careful. The world around Shelly and Soumya is built with similar realism and restraint. There are neighbors that keep fighting with them, but these neighbors also are the first people who show up when there's trouble. Then we have the asides about police life that give the screenplay some color while still staying within the ambit of this story. Some cops are hauled up for bringing in a sex worker for questioning, because you cannot bring in a woman to the police station at night without a female cop being present. At another point, Shelly is called by an elderly woman who lives with her two grown-up daughters. They complain that their neighbor, a man, keeps urinating near the fence that divides their property. But when this neighbor soon falls dead, they tell the media that Shelly has used harsh methods of interrogation. Whether you like Shahi Kabir's work or not, there is one thing that he keeps bringing up. Police life is not easy. Also, cinema life is not easy. These movie-related revelations too are presumably from Shahi's experiences. All this restraint, all this realism clashes interestingly with the over-the-top supernatural elements. A reference to Manichitrataru foreshadows the mix of disbelieving science versus belief in subjects like astrology and the dangers of dying on a day like Panchami. Shelly is a disbeliever at first. He sees the cursed file as his ticket to becoming a big-time screenwriter. But along with Manichitrataru, note the big portrait of Salvador Dali, whose work at one point defined Surrealism. Is Unmadam a real story, or is it playing mind games with us? A doctor says that Shelly could be experiencing cognitive dissonance due to the many unanswered questions from the many unsolved cases over the years. This is an aspect of police life that we rarely think about. It's jarring that Shelly sees a man and woman having an affair, and his first reaction is to call Soumya and confirm that she is at work. After seeing so many such cases, so many affairs, some part of his mind is always suspicious. Once again, Soumya is exasperated, Once again, she understands. Lijomol plays this part beautifully, showing a strong wife who has decided to stand beside her husband while he sorts through his issues. As Unmadham proceeds, we are left to wonder how much of what we see is from a crime scene that really happened, how much of it is the imagination of Shelley's fragile mental state, and how much of it is from the screenplay that Shelley is writing based on that old case. Is the fight sequence really a fight sequence, or is it something Shelley has included in a script to machoize the leading man? By the end, has this case really been solved, or has it been solved only in Shelley's screenplay? In other words, has cinema given the old crime the closure that real life couldn't? The biggest misstep in Unmadam, the least satisfying development, is the reason given for the crime. Yes, we have seen a scene about a protest against a land-grabbing government, and yes, we have seen a cop addressing the media about a land scam, but the way these breadcrumbs lead up to the big reveal is utterly random and generic. It is such a cliche that it spoils the intrigue that has led up to it. Is this all, we wonder? Unmadam has its flaws like an unconvincing blackmail subplot and an over-reliance on visuals of lizards, but if you can look past the disappointment at the big reveal, this is a solid film with strong narrative beats that keep slipping between the real and the surreal. I loved how the belief about bloodstains on police uniforms gets substantiated in a completely tangential way through a man who's totally unrelated to the cursed file case. What we have finally is not a nail-biter, but an atmospheric story about obsession, the obsession of solving a case, the obsession of becoming a screenwriter, and the obsession of making sense of things in life. There's lots to enjoy, from the abstract and surrealistic art over the opening credits to Mujib Majid's gently creepy songs and score which jumps between the notes that give the sense that even the music is not giving us closure. And there's of course Kunchacko Boban giving another well-modulated performance that has shades of the role that he played recently in Oru Duruha Sahajaretil. That big flashback apart, Unmadam may be one of those films that gets better the more you think about it. That's it about Unmadam. If you like this video review, do subscribe to Galatta Plus and see you soon at the movies.
Let's go holidays. Travel beyond boundaries.
மாதந்தோறும் first Sunday அன்று கிரியாசில் நாம் வாங்கும் அனைத்து பொருட்களுக்கும் exciting offers and gifts.
VCura Wellness, Advanced Scientific Slimming. No pain, no surgery. Any weight loss, இன்னும் smarter.